Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the Let's Talk Tuesdays podcast. My name is Brendan Plays. This is the show where we answer all of your questions that you send in every single week on the Brendan Plays forums at brendanplays.com/forums, in the YouTube comment section down below, over the website brendanplays.com by leaving a voicemail, or on the Facebook page. Brendan Plays Official is the link where you need to go. Special week this week for the channel. We hit 40,000 subscribers this week on the YouTube channel, which is insane. Big thank you to each and every one of you that continues to listen to the podcast every week and has subscribed to the channel and watches whatever series you like to watch, whether it be Universe Mode, GM modes, the UFC stuff, the NBA stuff. It doesn't matter what you like to watch. It doesn't matter if the podcast isn't your favorite. I don't care. As long as you watch and have subscribed and supported the channel, I just want to give you a big thank you. So much work and effort and time has been put into the channel, and to get somewhere, to get to 40k is obviously fantastic. And I've been doing this since 2010. I started the Brendan Plays channel in 2013, but obviously been doing videos at some kind of capacity for nearly 6 years now. And to make it to 40k, some might say, well, you probably should have been a lot further than that. A lot of other people are growing a lot more fast than you, whatever. That's the case, but to me, this is a great achievement. I'm very proud of what I've been able to do, and I'm not giving up yet. I would love to hit 100,000. That's my end-all, be-all goal. If I can hit 100,000 subscribers, I could call it a day right there and be a very happy and satisfied man. I want that plaque. I want that 100k plaque. I want to put it on my wall and just be able to stare at it all day and be proud of what I've been able to do. But that's the goal. But 40,000 is a big tick, and I really want to thank everyone that has supported the channel. A lot of great things to come. Obviously, the Universe Mode stuff is really getting interesting. We've got SummerSlam coming up probably next weekend. I will most likely be streaming SummerSlam. Probably thinking, why don't you do it this weekend? Well, I have an exam on Friday, then I have another exam next Tuesday. So that's going to take up some of my time, and I probably won't be able to get SummerSlam done. But I'll try and get SummerSlam out and complete. And it'll give me more time to make SummerSlam better. I won't be rushing it as well. If I can get it out next Saturday night is when I'll probably stream the show, which I think will be a lot of fun. So if you can come along to the SummerSlam stream then, it's going to be cool. I mean, last time we had 350 people watching in live, and it was absolutely amazing. It was just incredible. So if you can come along again next Saturday, probably the same time. What time did I do it last time? I think I did it 5 p.m. US time, I think. So keep an eye out for that. More details will be coming about that next week. But so lots to look forward to. I kind of wanted to bring back the NBA. I haven't kind of got around to doing that. I needed to do more UFC as well. I just kind of need to think about what I'm doing and need to kind of, get ahead. I'm not really ahead at the moment. I'm just kind of doing one video at a time every single day. I need to kind of get 3, 4, 5 videos on the backlog so I can kind of relax a little bit. Especially right now, a lot of exams and assignments and things like that I'm doing. So I need to kind of put some time in and really get some videos done in advance. So that's something I'm going to be working on in the next couple of weeks. But so I do apologize for those who have been looking forward to and have been enjoying the NBA videos and the UFC stuff. I do apologize to you guys, but I haven't been able to get around to doing them, especially NBA. It's been like a month since I did an NBA video, which I really apologize. I managed to get back into the GM mode swing of things in terms of SmackDown versus Raw. We get a video up for that this week. We got the pay-per-view finally done for that, so that was great. I'm really happy about that. I thought the pay-per-view was a lot of fun. Some really funny moments in there, so if you didn't see that, go and check that out for me as well. But I guess my focus right now is probably Universe Mode. I'm going to be doing 3 promos for the show. I've nearly done 1 already, so I've got 2 more I'm going to be working on, plus the whole show, which is going to be huge. So there's going to be a lot that needs to be done. So it's going to be a busy couple of weeks, no doubt about that. But today we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. I thought this week's show was pretty good. It obviously happened in London, which gave it a great crowd, which certainly improved the overall show. But I think it probably wasn't as good as last week. I think top to bottom it was not as good. The matches weren't as great. But it's not a bad follow-up. It's probably a good follow-up in WWE standards. At least it wasn't an abomination of a show. It was still good. Not a lot really happened. It was mainly a continuation show, kind of get to the next week, start to build a little bit further and couple some of the rivalries, which is cool, which is okay. So We'll talk about Monday Night Raw now. We'll kind of kick it off with Shane McMahon. So, the Shane McMahon storyline, doesn't it seem really stupid right now, doesn't it? I mean, look, at WrestleMania, Shane McMahon had to beat The Undertaker to get control of Raw. So, he lost. Now, what are we, 2-3 weeks after WrestleMania, and Shane McMahon is running Raw. Now, why? Why is that happening? He had one good show, Vince McMahon's happy with him, so he wants to keep doing it. So that would mean we had 6 weeks of build-up for that match at WrestleMania, and all of that has been completely thrown out the window. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just retarded. Why not, if Vince is okay with Shane running Raw, then why the hell did we have the match in the first place? Why the hell did we have a Hell in a Cell match? Why did we have 6 weeks of build-up? Why did we have Vince McMahon disowning his son, taking him out of the will, doing everything that he did, only for Shane to get what he wants in the end anyway? So it just seems absolutely asinine. It's ridiculous. And I don't know who the hell thought this was a good idea. Don't get me wrong, I like having Shane on TV. I think it's good. But just some really stupid creative and stupid booking there and storyline. Very, very poor, but still no authority, which is a nice breath of fresh air. 3 weeks without them is actually nice. It feels like the show is benefiting without them, honestly. I think we've all been really tired and jaded of the authority characters. Stephanie McMahon, I think she's just grinding my gears at the moment. And I like Triple H, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Triple H fan, but I'm even getting a little bit tiresome of his authority roles. So it's nice to have something a little bit different. For that case alone, I'm hoping that Shane McMahon will be running Raw and be a major part of Raw for, I suppose, the next month or so. That's probably when things will probably get, played out a little bit. But so far, it's a nice change to have a babyface in charge of Raw, and I think it's refreshing. And that's something the show's really needed. And, I think, the thing is, the show hasn't really changed or anything like that. I think if they really wanted to have Shane McMahon running Raw, they should change the set, they should change the announcers, they should change the, referee, the ring announcers, the commentators. They should change it all. Like, they should really do all these drastic changes. And so when Shane McMahon obviously is going to lose his job at some point, there's a reason why. Shane McMahon went overboard. He went crazy. He changed everything. What the hell is he doing? He fired this guy. He hired this guy. This guy debuted. That's what he's really done. He's kind of debuted a few guys, but he hasn't really done anything else, has he? So I would like to see Shane McMahon change things, really change things. Maybe at Payback, we see something really drastic. We see a big change, and that's when Shane McMahon gets fired that night. He's changed everything ridiculously, and, Vince McMahon has to come back and stop that. At least that would give us a reason why Shane McMahon would be fired. And hey, if we get a show that's really different, that might be nice. That might be a nice change. And hey, they could even trial something. Why not, trial a change? Change the Titantron, change the stage, change the look, change the songs being used, change everything for a night. See how it goes. See if it works. And if it doesn't work, well, hey, you can always fall back, say, look, that's Shane McMahon, forget about that. And if it works, well, you could just kind of run with it, So I wouldn't mind that. Something just to switch things up, try something different. It could work. You never know. Looks as though we have a couple matches already confirmed for Payback this week. Actually, 3 more matches confirmed. We kind of knew that these were happening anyways, but they are now official. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and Natalya versus Charlotte for the women's title. So I like all 3 of these matchups. Ambrose and Jericho I think will be very good. I'd like to see them have a long-term feud. I guess I'll give my early predictions on Payback, and we'll see what my predictions are when the show comes around in a couple weeks' time. Whether or not I change my mind, have a few different thoughts and opinions. But for now, my early ideas and thoughts are basically, I think Chris Jericho will beat Dean Ambrose, and I think that's the right way to go. Now, wait. Just wait a second before you kind of jump on the hate wagon there. I think Chris Jericho should win by cheating, grabbing the tights, getting the ropes, holding onto the ropes, feet on the ropes, distracting the referee, using something, an illegal weapon, cheating in a heel matter, pick up the flash pinfall on Dean Ambrose, sneak away with the win, setting up for a rematch down the line where you have Ambrose go over cleanly. I think Jericho has been positioned nicely. They've used him pretty well. He hasn't lost that many matches. He's winning a lot more than he's losing. He beat Sami Zayn this week on Raw. So Jericho's looking pretty strong. And Dean Ambrose getting a win over Jericho. I think most of us kind of predict in the back of our minds, yes, Ambrose is going to win at some point. But still, it's a nice victory for Dean Ambrose, a guy that doesn't necessarily win all that much on pay-per-view. We've talked about this in the past, but, he needs a big win on pay-per-view. He hasn't had one for, a decent period of time now, losing to Lesnar. If you want to count Roadblock, he lost to Triple H as well. He didn't win at Fastlane. So he's, hasn't had many victories lately, and I think that's kind of hurting him. When we look at Dean Ambrose, something's missing with him. He gets a good reaction every week. And I like the Ambrose Asylum little show. It's a simple set. He was kind of funny this week. I kind of liked that. I thought that was entertaining. But I think Ambrose, he's missing one thing majorly right now. Apart from wins, obviously he probably could do with some big wins to kind of take him to that next level. But for me, Dean Ambrose needs a catchphrase. He is in dire need of a catchphrase. You look at all the top guys over the years, just about every single one of them, thereabouts, had a catchphrase of some kind. Undertaker, rest in peace. Austin, he had the hell yeah, he had the what, The Rock, had every catchphrase under the sun. Cena's got you can't see me. Every guy just about, not all the time, some get away with it, but most times they need a catchphrase. Daniel Bryan, just one word, yes, and look where that took him, into an absolute phenomenon. So, for me, Dean Ambrose just needs some kind of catchphrase. It will definitely help him. I mean, by the way, a catchphrase like Roman Reigns is trying to get over, I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy, I'm the guy. I hate that catchphrase, by the way. So try and get a good one that doesn't make you want to cringe every time he says it. But Dean Ambrose needs something there, and I have no idea. I'm not very good at catchphrases at all, but, having a name, the Lunatic Fringe, isn't really a catchphrase. It's not really anything you can kind of get over. It's a nickname. He's got a nickname, which is cool. That's great. He's got the Ambrose Asylum as well, which is not really a catchphrase or anything like that either. It's another name for him. So he just needs one catchphrase to get over it. I really think the crowd will be able to chant along with him, and he'll get much more of a bigger reaction. It's one missing piece of the Ambrose puzzle that I think needs to be filled in very soon, because Ambrose is getting good reactions. The crowd like him. Everybody that I've been talking to really likes Dean Ambrose. I haven't really talked to many people that don't like him. And I like Dean Ambrose. I think he's great. But I just think he needs one catchphrase to take him to that next level. And hopefully he can find one. And because we've seen it so many times. Guys get a catchphrase. Look at Ryback. Feed me more. That's sometimes the only way they get a reaction. And Dean Ambrose is already getting a reaction. If he has a catchphrase to go with that, something for the crowd to say, man, that guy is going to be huge. So, you just got to find something. But Jericho, obviously, working with Ambrose is a great thing. Jericho's doing great as a heel, really entertaining. So, props to Jericho. I think his run since he's been back has been great. It's been a big success for me. They've used him well. You could argue that AJ Styles should have won at WrestleMania. I probably would say yes. I mean, considering they wanted AJ Styles to go for the world title the next night, I think that was a little bit stupid. But other than that, I think they've used Jericho pretty well. And I like the feud that he had with Styles. And I think I'm going to like the feud he's going to have with Dean Ambrose. I'm hoping they have a couple of pay-per-view matchups. That's at least what I predict they're going to do. That's why I'm saying give Jericho the win now and have Ambrose get the clean victory and get his revenge later on. Because if Ambrose wins now, then what's the point of the feud? It's kind of done, isn't it? So get the Jericho win now and Ambrose get the win later. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as well. I think you kind of do the same, but I think Kevin Owens should dominate Sami Zayn and just pick up the win. I think Sami Zayn is not on Kevin Owens' level right now. I think they've been building Kevin Owens for a year. Sami Zayn just kind of coming in. For Owens to lose to Zayn, I think would be a bit of a step back for Kevin Owens. They kind of need to establish Sami Zayn a little bit more, I think, before you would have him lose to Owens. I know Owens lost to Ambrose on Raw, but I think definitely Dean Ambrose is above Kevin Owens on the food chain. Sami Zayn is not. So Sami Zayn, I'm not a huge fan of him. I think he's good, but I wouldn't put him in my favorites. He's not a guy that I get excited for or watching with anticipation. But that's not to say that he's bad or anything like that. He's very good in the ring, don't get me wrong, but he's just not a guy that I've kind of gravitated towards. So, for me, I think Sami Zayn should spend a couple of months kind of building himself up, beating some mid-card guys, and gaining some legitimacy. And in the meanwhile, he's coming after Owens. He's getting himself better. Yes, Owens got the better of him in their first match, but he's still fighting. He's still getting him, beating these other guys, getting himself prepared. And eventually he gets that big win over Kevin Owens. It'll mean a lot more. Because if he just loses, or Kevin Owens just loses now to Sami Zayn, it's really not going to mean all that much. They had a whole year build up to this match. They did it all in the NXT world, and it worked out really well, but it hasn't really been anything on the main roster. If you didn't watch NXT, then you really wouldn't know much about these two. You wouldn't really know much about their story. Probably at Payback, they might run a promo to kind of make things a little bit more clear, but they certainly haven't done enough on TV to get it over with yet, so they need to kind of extend that for a while, and I would have Kevin Owens win and have Sami Zayn pick up the win a little later. It's kind of very similar to what Jericho and Ambrose is probably going to do, but I think that might be quite effective right now. So certainly with both, Jericho doing very well as a heel, Kevin Owens doing well as well, kind of makes sense for both of them. And the third matchup, Natalya and Charlotte, well, I think Charlotte will win. Without a doubt, win squeaky, well, I wouldn't say clean. I think Charlotte will cheat to win. Ric Flair will get himself involved. Maybe he'll punch Bret, or, maybe he'll grab the foot of Natalya when she's, doing something. He'll grab the hands of Charlotte and drag her towards the ropes when she's in the sharpshooter. Do something, something Ric Flair would do to help his daughter out and help her keep the title. And I think this is kind of just a bit of a feud just to kind of have it, just kind of keep Becky and Sasha out of it for a little bit, because I think we've kind of seen them enough around the title for a while now. So I think it's nice to have somebody different in there. But I definitely think the plan going forward is to have Charlotte keep that belt probably until maybe SummerSlam, honestly. I could see her having a really long reign, because I don't think they really want to have the first women's champion. Well, I don't think they would really want her to lose the title quickly, because, not the first women's champion, but the first one since they've had the title back. I don't think they would really want her to lose the championship that quickly, because I think in their minds it might devalue the title a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte hangs on to it for at least a few months. And eventually, probably Sasha Banks will come along and finally get the big title win that everyone's been waiting for her to get for about, nearly a year now. Alrighty, so the big thing that happened this week for me on Raw, and I think it's the big one that has been interesting everybody right now. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I think I've been still calling him Doc Gallows, but they are calling him Luke Gallows. I know AJ Styles nearly slipped the tongue and called him Doc Gallows as well, but Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So, what's the deal here? Are we going to see AJ Styles turn heel? This is the situation. Number one, AJ Styles turns heel, joins Gallows and Anderson, and forms some kind of group. What are they going to call them? I have no idea. They definitely won't be calling them the Bullet Club. They'll call them something else, but that's number one. Number two, AJ Styles refuses to join Anderson and Gallows, staying babyface, and Anderson and Gallows have a feud with AJ Styles, and more than likely Roman Reigns. So I could see at Payback, Anderson and Gallows get themselves involved, but AJ Styles doesn't want their help, and he attacks them instead, or tries to fight them off, or tries to stop them, and Anderson and Gallows are pissed off, and they attacked Styles, and Roman Reigns, well, since he's still technically a babyface, as much as people don't want him to be, I think he'll come in there and he'll save AJ Styles, and they'll form a bit of a team, and maybe they'll have a 2-on-2 match at the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. Maybe they'll have a tag match. I think that would be kind of a weak main event, but I could see it happening, where Styles and Reigns, they put their differences aside to stop Anderson and Gallows, and then probably at the next pay-per-view Extreme Rules, when they have that match, maybe the third man comes in, and that might be Finn Balor to join the group and, create that third man, create that stable. For me, having AJ Styles join Anderson and Gallows would be a bit of a letdown. I think Finn Balor has been teasing it so much, it'd just be a bit of a waste for him not to join the group now, wouldn't it? I think after all this time, to have someone join the group and not be Finn Balor would be kind of silly. I know it's kind of predictable, if you've been following Finn Balor's Twitter, but sometimes predictable is right. Sometimes it's right. And I think Finn Balor could work really well as a heel. I think AJ Styles right now, I think he's doing fine as a babyface. I don't think there's really any need to turn him yet. I think it'd be too early to turn AJ Styles. I think he still has not lived up to his potential as a babyface yet. So for me, turning him heel would be too soon, and I think I would need to wait a little longer, probably another 6 months before I even think about turning him heel. So I would definitely probably go with option number 2 and have Styles and Reigns. You're going to probably have to be Reigns because, Reigns will be in the ring when the attack happens more than likely, so he's going to get linked to that somehow. Because if he doesn't, well, who else is going to feud with Reigns? What's going to happen there? There's really no other openings there, so they could kind of get by with that situation. So I would definitely have that probably happen. And at the pay-per-view, like I said, debut the third man and keep AJ Styles as a babyface, and you could kind of have Styles feud with, let's just call him the Balor Club for now. You can have Styles feud with the Balor Club, and it could be pretty interesting. And by the way, I would definitely have Anderson and Gallows, if they're going to, let's say they do this 2-on-2 situation, I would definitely have them debut at the pay-per-view. Don't debut on Raw, wait. Just wait. Just have them be these guys who rock up and they beat the shit out of guys. Don't have them in the ring yet. I would have them wait, just wait and wait and wait until the pay-per-view, just to make it, more special. Make that match more special. The debut of these two guys, make it special. So I think that's probably the way to go about it. But that's just an idea I've thrown out. Quite honestly, I could see Styles joining up and turning heel and joining with the group as well and coming off the reins. But here's the thing that I have to say about that. Can AJ Styles possibly turn heel on Roman Reigns? No. Roman Reigns is the most hated guy in terms of the crowd right now. He gets the loudest boos every single week. Nobody wants to see him, a lot of the fans don't want to see him as champion. I'm getting in trouble for saying nobody once again. I apologize to you, Bad News Bullet. You keep on ripping me in the comments. I will apologize. But a lot of the fans are very vocal about Roman Reigns, and they don't want to see him as champion. So, Roman Reigns, could AJ Styles possibly turn heel on him? I don't think so, because the crowd is obviously going to cheer it. They're going to be happy to see it. But, if they're attacking Reigns and they're attacking Styles as well, then, it might get over a little bit more and they might be beating up AJ Styles, and that might make the crowd boo them a little bit more, because if they're attacking Reigns, it's going to work. It's going to be okay. And, they're going to, attacking Reigns, they're going to get cheered like crazy. They're going to get cheered. But if they're attacking Styles, then I think things will be okay, and they'll get a decent heel heat, enough to get the angle over. But I just don't think Styles could possibly turn heel on Roman Reigns, so I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think really the best option would be keep Styles by himself, and honestly, I think Styles is doing well by himself. I could see him really becoming a legitimate main event guy here on the show. In a time where there really isn't many guys. Look, you got Ambrose, you got Reigns, you got, Jericho, Owens, not really. I wouldn't say he's a established main event guy. And Sheamus and Del Rio have fallen down the card as well. Sheamus getting pinned cleanly on Raw, so he's gone down the card. And the rest of the guys, you got your Seth Rollinses, your John Cena's, your Randy Ortons, the other guys who you would probably say are main event talents, are on the shelf still. So at a time like this, AJ Styles is a perfect single superstar to slot into that main event right now, and I think they should probably keep him that way. And we'll move along now. So we have Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. Looks as though Dolph Ziggler is officially the guy that all the rookies, all the NXT debutants feud with. We saw Tyler Breeze feud with Ziggler in his first feud. Now it's Baron Corbin. Looks as though Ziggler's that guy. He's the guy who's going to lose to the debutante. And it's a shame that that's the role that he's got. But it's not a bad role to have, I suppose. I guess Ziggler is a guy who can really make anybody look good. He makes all his opponents look great in the ring. Baron Corbin is a guy who definitely needs that. For me, I'm not a big Baron Corbin fan, but I can see the WWE really pushing this guy. He's got a good size. His look is a little different. You got all the tattoos. He's not exactly a well-built guy. He's obviously quite tall, but he's not really completely muscular or anything like that, so he's not exactly that menacing besides his height. But he's got a good finisher. I like the end of days. It's a good finisher. But apart from that, I really don't see much in him. He's not a great promo. So I'm not sure how far Baron Corbin will go. But I definitely see the WWE giving him a chance to do something on the main roster. I think because of that size that he has, I think they're definitely going to push him, push him pretty well. I think you could see him winning a title at some point. Winning a title in the next 6 months would not shock me. So I think Baron Corbin will definitely be featured pretty heavily. But Dolph Ziggler, I guess, is the guy who's going to put him over and just kind of give Corbin that first victory to kind of, send him on his way here in the main roster. Hopefully, for Baron Corbin's sake, he doesn't end up like Tyler Breeze. I don't think he will. I think Baron Corbin, that size that he has is, too much. He's got too much size for Vince McMahon to toss him to the side like he did to Tyler Breeze, who, by the way, that poor guy, you see like Apollo Crews, you see Enzo and Cass, you see even the Vaudevillains, you see Baron Corbin, all these NXT guys debuting right now, getting all this spotlight, all this momentum, and Tyler Breeze, when he came up, he got absolutely fucking nothing. He got a 2-week push, and that was it. I bet he's wishing that he debuted now, didn't he? I bet he's just annoyed that he kind of wanted to move up early. I know it's been waiting forever to move up. You look at WWE Breaking Ground, the show on the network, he was, begging and waiting and kind of really wanting to move up, and he finally moved up, and it's been a complete disaster for him. What was it? He's lost nearly 50 matches in a row this year. It's been crazy. This poor guy is really down and out. He's nothing now. It's a real shame. I don't know what you could do with Tyler Breeze. Do we push? Do we fire? Or do we repackage? It's kind of a bit of a thing we've been doing on the forums as well. Push, fire, repackage. And maybe that's something we could do on the show. I probably know a lot of other shows probably do this anyways. But if you have any suggestions on who you want me to kind of talk about, push, fire, repackage, put it in the comments below. Pick a wrestler out and tell me to push, fire, repackage. But for Tyler Breeze, I don't like the gimmick for me personally, but I can see it working. I can see it working with The Miz. I could just see it's perfect for him. The Miz, this Hollywood guy, he's got his wife doing his makeup for him. Tyler Breeze would fit in perfect right there. I just feel like it's a huge opportunity wasted. I've been talking about this for such a long time, but I really feel like it would work. So, does that count as a repackage into a tag team wrestler? Not really. I think it's more of a push into a tag team guy. So that's what I would do. I would push Breeze, make him a tag team guy, and when The Miz is finished with his IC title reign, have them two pair up. And I think they could be a good heel team. Obviously, a lot of tag teams right now, but I think it's a space that Tyler Breeze could thrive in, because I don't think he could really succeed right now with all these singles guys. With Corbin, they're even still pushing Kalisto. Was he even Raw this week? I don't know. Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, a lot of these guys right now are getting that push in the mid-card, upper mid-card. I think Tyler Breeze will get lost in the shuffle, but at least he would have a chance as a tag team guy. But we'll move on to the next one. Cass and Enzo made their Raw debut in ring today, and that was interesting. I mean, we talked about it last week. How would they fare when they get in the ring? Can they succeed in the ring as well as on the mic? And obviously they had a good crowd this week to support them. They are definitely a New Age Outlaws repeat, maybe even, it feels like I'm listening to DX. It feels like I'm waiting for Cassidy to say suck it when he's on the mic. But, sometimes old is new, and sometimes, we see it all the time. The next reincarnation of this guy, the next this guy, this is the new, these are the new Road Warriors, these are the new whatever. We see it all the time. So sometimes that's okay, and sometimes, if it worked back then, it probably still works now. The New Age Outlaws, when they came back a couple of years ago, it was still working. So it's a very similar style, but it's working, and it's working pretty well for them. They're getting the great crowd response. Obviously, when they get to a worse crowd in the next few weeks, it's not going to be as great of a response, but they should definitely, props to the WWE. The thing is, they booked some good towns. Obviously, the Raw after WrestleMania is a given. The next week, last week was pretty average, but this week, getting to London was a good decision. Obviously, they don't get enough wrestling, so they're chomping at the bit to go, and they're going to make the crowd fun. They're going to make the crowd exciting and make the show really, really good to watch and really get into it. So they are really kind of the perfect crowd to debut guys or to have new debutants, especially from NXT, because obviously they watch the product, they follow the product. It's kind of the perfect crowd to get them going early on, to have the fans watching at home, have them established to what they do. And, if you have a guy, let's say Apollo Crews, he comes out to zero, we'll say Castanenza, we're not Castanenza right now. Let's say they come out to zero reaction, literally nobody is saying their catchphrase, nobody would care. If you're watching at home, you're like, well, who the fuck are these guys? But you watch at home and the whole crowd is going, SAWFT, the whole crowd is going along with it. Then at home, you're immediately going to be going, man, these guys are doing well, these guys are cool, these guys are popular. Your perception of the tag team is going to be much more improved than it would be, without that crowd. So it's a smart decision to book in strong crowds. I don't know where they are next week. I don't know if their Europe tour ends or if they're, I don't know where they're going to be. But, I think it's a good decision. They've done well so far. But in terms of Castanenzo, I think, what are they versing the Vaudevillains now? Payback in the tag title final. I think the Vaudevillains will win. And I say this because I would like to see the New Day and Castanenzo meet later. I think the WWE want to save that feud. If they do it now, I don't think it'll work as well. Obviously, New Day and Castanenzo are both babyface teams. And I think the Vaudevillains are heels. I'm not quite 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they are heels right now. They're obviously the versus the Usos, so you'd have to assume they're heels. And they didn't really do much to act like heels on Raw. I gotta say, I didn't really pay too much attention to them. But I would definitely think they are heels. And someone in comments can be like, yeah, they're fucking heels, Brandon, come on. But, look, I think it's, in terms of WWE, they're going to have a heel versus a babyface team. And I think the Vaudevillains, I don't think they're going to beat the New Day, which is also an issue. A big loss early on to the New Day. But that, to be honest, should not be an issue because the New Day have been tag champs for, 8 months? Losing to them shouldn't be an issue. Losing to somebody like Goldust and Stardust, Goldust and R-Truth, sorry, I'm thinking of my universe mode. Goldust and R-Truth, for example, that would be an issue. Or the Ascension, which, by the way, they're not going to be around for much longer, that's an issue. So, losing to the New Day wouldn't be too bad for them. They'll give themselves a pay-per-view matchup, a good level of exposure, and they can kind of build off that momentum from there. So, I think it's not a bad decision. And Castanenzo, they'll get their time. I think what's going to happen is in the pre-show, you'll see the Dudley Boys interfere, screw over Castanenzo, setting up a match later in the night with the Dudleys versus Castanenzo, and they'll have a tag team matchup on the pay-per-view there, which I think will be fine. I thought, by the way, Bubba Ray in the ring, he's great. I really got to say, he's talking trash, he's picking up the guy and tossing him down, still talking trash. I love that. That's great. It's entertaining. He's just talking trash, beating the hell out of you, and talking so much crap. It's brilliant. So thumbs up from me to him. He makes his matches entertaining at least. So I like that. So overall, Raw was a pretty good show. Not as good as last week, but definitely a nice continuation on from what they built up last week. Hopefully they can keep the momentum going all the way through to Payback. Be kind of tough to do, but hopefully they can do it. And so far, so good. Alrighty, so the big news this week. Adam Rose and Connor have both been suspended for violating the wellness policy. I think a lot of you guys are asking my reaction this week. How did I feel about Adam Rose getting fired? And I think I was responding with a lot of gifs with somebody dancing or somebody celebrating or clapping or something like that. I'm more than happy to see the guy suspended. I mean, I said it last week. The guy looks terrible. I don't know what he did. I'm not going to speculate. A lot of rumors are saying both of them got done for smoking weed, which, by the way, would be ridiculous. Weed, by the way, is still very illegal in Australia. I know it's kind of getting legalized in a lot of states in the United States, but it is still very illegal here in Australia. So, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. A lot of people say, oh, weed's fine, blah, blah, whatever. To me, I'm still kind of a little iffy about it. I don't take any drugs. I guess I'm straight edge. I do, I'll drink alcohol, but I'm only occasionally. But, I'm not against alcohol or anything like that. Smoking is a no-go for me. It doesn't matter if it's weed or cigarettes. I don't really want to do any of that. No, it doesn't interest me whatsoever. But I guess a lot of people in the States have the perception that weed's fine. obviously that's a fair reason because, it is legalized in a lot of states over there. So that's absolutely fair enough. But for me, I haven't got that perception really of it yet. So I can understand them firing Ambrose and Connor if they have been doing that. I think at the end of the day, if it's outside of WWE, they're doing it at home, and it's legal in the state they're doing it in, I don't think they should be in trouble. But if they are under the influence when they're at work, then definitely they need to face some kind of repercussion. I think Adam Rose, though, he looks as though he's on something else. The guy is getting scary skinny. He's not looking healthy. He's got chicken legs now. He needs to go home for 60 days and work, eat, and work out. I don't even think he needs to work out. Just fucking eat. Just eat some cheeseburgers, brother. Just eat it up, man, because you're looking not healthy. You're not healthy. He's obviously very ripped up and toned because he's so skinny, but it's not a very good look for TV whatsoever. In terms of Connor, the guy, I don't know what he could be possibly on. He could be on some kind of performance-enhancing kind of drug, some sort. Who knows? Adam Rose could be on that too. You never know. There's a lot of different types of it. But they haven't really released any more details. I'm just kind of speculating. I'm just talking shit. I don't have no fucking clue what they're on. So something they've done to violate the wellness policy, whatever it was, and it's been enough to get them suspended, I think, for 60 days. I think it was. It was their second offense. I think Adam Rose got one a few years ago that was undisclosed, and Connor got one, I think it was like 10 years ago or something when he was first in WWE or in developmental or something. I didn't know he was around that long, but yeah, he got one ages ago. So they still stick around. They're still on your record. I doubt Randy Orton's got his on his record, but I think a lot of guys have been suffering from that. But yeah, so 60 days. I was going to say they're going to join Titus O'Neil, but they're not, because Titus O'Neil was back on Raw this week. He was in some really weird video campaign with Natalya. You should have read the YouTube comments on that video on the WWE's YouTube page. They all were a little bit worried for Natalya in that video. Titus O'Neil was not portrayed very well, to my eyes anyways. He's portrayed quite creepy. But it was some kind of smoking video, which is fine, but no signs of him in the ring as of yet, and I have no idea if he will be, but at least he's doing something. He got some kind of appearance. That's going to mean something, right? He's okay. Maybe he'll just kind of transition to that spokesperson kind of role, just kind of be the role model in the WWE, and maybe not get back in the ring. Wouldn't shock me. No Bray Wyatt this week. I think the rumor is that he is injured. I have no idea what the injury is or how bad it is, but him not being on Raw this week is obviously some kind of bad sign. I think he had a good wave of momentum from last week, and it was a shame not to see him on this week. I was really enjoying the whole, babyface Bray Wyatt type of thing, despite it only lasting for a very short period of time. I kind of liked it, but it is very, very disappointing. I know this has been kind of covered throughout the entire week, but I want to say a quick mention, a big, say something about Balls Mahoney. Unfortunately, he passed away last week. The ECW original. I'm not a big fan of Balls Mahoney, but I do, briefly remember his little run that he had in WWE when I started watching, and when ECW, the brand kind of came back and was in part of the whole one night stand kind of deal. So obviously, when I think of ECW, he's one of the guys I definitely think of, and it's a shame to see him go, but obviously a lot of personal issues that he had, quite well documented, and a lot of the ECW guys do have some drinking background, some drugs. A lot of these guys were kind of messed up. That era was pretty dark for some of those guys, and some of them have not been able to shake it, and the effects of that type of wrestling that's had their effect on their body, that's led to them, trying to find something to ease the pain. I know Axl Rotten was another one of those guys, very similar. So yeah, it's a real shame, but he had a good career, but a life taken away far too short. So rest in peace, Balls Mahoney. And lastly, for WWE, Total Bellas. It's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a sad transition to another sad transition. Total Bellas is now official. We heard the rumors of the last few weeks, but I don't think we knew if it was going to be official or not, but it is absolutely 100% official. They announced it today on WWE, on Raw. So it looks as though it's basically a spin-off of Total Divas. They're going to follow the lives of the Bellas, and I think they're going to include the Bella twins' mother, and I think Big Johnny Laurinaitis is on there, and obviously Daniel Bryan will be on the show. Cena will be on the show as well. I think even the brother and his wife will be on the show as well. You know, they make appearances on Total Divas, but they'll probably be more casual. I don't know if they'll follow them around, so to say, but I'm sure they'll make some kind of appearances on the show here and there. But honestly, I'm kind of okay with this because Total Divas is majority based around the Bellas, and I think probably the best part of Total Divas, and I say that kind of loosely, is probably the Bellas. I think without them on the show, it would be pretty bad, let's be honest. It'd be even terrible, more worse than it is. I like Total Divas to a degree. I think the last couple seasons has been pretty bad. I still watch it here and there. I get into it sometimes, and sometimes it's kind of like, well, this is kind of a waste of time. But I think a Total Bellas show, I don't think it really will last too long. Might get a couple seasons maybe, but I think I'll check it out. I like the Bellas because I guess you get to see more of Daniel Bryan. You get to see a bit of an insight of Cena's life as well. A guy who you don't really hear too much about. You don't really hear much about his personal life. So when you get to see a little bit about him, I kind of like that. And that's mainly what I like about the Total Divas show as well, is when they're backstage and they interact with people backstage and you see that environment and what goes on there. That's probably what I like the most about the show. So if they did like a whole backstage thing where they followed everybody around, I think I'd like that. Or like Breaking Ground, for example, in NXT. I love that for the network. That's my favorite thing on the network. Actually, Edge and Christian show might probably nearly surpass that. I love Edge and Christian show, but those top two things on the network. But so Total Bellas, I think it will be okay. I don't think it will last too long. It might get a season, might get two. Can't see it getting any more than 3. But, people who watch E are just, it's the same formula for every damn show on that channel. People who just kind of have nothing better to do than watch, that. So it is what it is, and I'll check it out and I'll give my opinions on it. Maybe I'll bite the bullet and watch it for some of you guys who won't do it. But, so no real surprise that they're getting their own show. I guess Brie Bella's pregnancy will be something that they can obviously follow. Nikki Bella's return back to the ring and her neck injury will be something they can follow. And obviously Cena with his injury, Daniel Bryan with his life after wrestling as well, is something that I definitely would be interested in seeing. Hopefully they kind of showcase him a little bit more on the show. So that's something that I think would be pretty interesting to see, those couple of elements there. But finally, the last piece of news this week is from TNA. TNA, we know that they're moving into their shop headquarters. So they've gone from their main headquarters into their warehouse and where they sell their merchandise and things like that. But they're also possibly selling up. Dixie Carter is possibly looking for somebody to come in and buy the company. Dixie Carter, though, wants to retain majority of the shares, so she wants to have 51% of the ownership and sell off the rest. And I guess she doesn't want to lose control. She wants to make sure that she can still call the shots and still has the last say at the end of the day with TNA, but she wants to try and sell off the rest to somebody else. Would I definitely buy TNA? Hell no. Right now, TNA, the brand itself is so tainted. I think it's not worth it right now. I think if you've got that money and you've got that backing, you're better off starting your own organization, which is, I know, it's so hard to do. Sometimes buying established is a lot easier, but I think, though, so many fans have been turned off by TNA that even if they did a complete rebrand, new owners, new guys on the roster, I don't think people would even give it a chance. Whereas if you're starting a brand new company, I think people will check that out more likely. I think we're all kind of somewhat intrigued with Global Force Wrestling when that kind of came around. We had an eye on it, kind of checking out what happened with it. Obviously, it turned out to be absolutely nothing, but at least it had some interest there by some of us. So I think there is probably room if you've got some big cash and some good connections with some television companies to start another company. But obviously, the talent pool is very, very thin right now. WWE has poached majority of the talent, so you're going to need a lot of money. You're going to need a TV deal. You're going to need a lot. and you're probably going to have to suffer a huge deficit for at least probably 3 or 4 years, be able to afford that, which nobody really can. Who wants to do that? So that's probably why you won't see a new company pop up anytime soon. But, TNA is probably the last hope of an American company to, be some competition and be highly successful. But their days are numbered, and I think even a rebrand won't be able to help them. So selling off the company, you could sell it off, but I don't think even buying some of the share of it is even worth it. I don't think the company is very profitable. So I think anybody thinking about buying TNA should probably really, recheck that. I don't know how the books are going. Are they making profit? How they're going? But from at least what I can tell, from what it looks like to me, when I see the crowd attendances and, the pay-per-view buy rates and things like that, things aren't looking pretty. So I'd be surprised if anybody really seriously buys TNA. I think that would be probably a mistake, honestly. But that's the rumor going around right now, that they are looking to sell, but looking to hold on to majority ownership as well. Alrighty, so we're going to transition now before we get into our questions. As always, what is Brendan playing this week? What is Brendan playing this week? This week we got ourselves Dark Souls 3. We talked about that last week. I also got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I got Batman Arkham Knight, which I haven't played yet. And also been playing the Black Ops 3 map pack that just dropped a few hours ago. I had a chance to play that. So I've been playing a lot, actually. I got a new Platinum this week as well. I finally got a Platinum, my first one since, I think, January. I got the Battlefield Hardline Platinum, so I got that today, which is great. That video is up on my second channel, Brendan's Platinum, so you want to go check that one out. My 65th Platinum, so that was great. But yeah, so mainly been playing Dark Souls 3 and the other games I mentioned, specifically Dark Souls 3. I love it. I really do. I've kind of cracked the code a little bit with Dark Souls. I think the first time I really gave it a chance was obviously Dark Souls 1, and I was absolutely rubbish at it. But now I'm a little older, I'm a little wiser, a little smarter, I think. I hope. I'm kind of getting in the game a little bit better. I'm playing a lot better, playing a lot smarter, and I'm getting through it a lot easier. I needed, obviously, a lot of help fighting the bosses. I haven't been able to beat any boss by myself. I beat the first one, but the second one and the third one were kind of tough. That's as far as I've gotten so far. But really like the game. It's a very highly rated game, but I think it deserves the rating. The scenery is beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. The gameplay is nice. It's still very challenging and very fun. Very rewarding game. That's what I like about Dark Souls. Such a rewarding game. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, a game that I didn't pick up. I actually got it off a friend, my good mate Samir. Shout out to him, a legend. So I got it off him. I haven't had a chance to play with him yet. Maybe we need to hook up and play some Rainbow Six together. But so I have been playing that, and I'm actually really getting into it as well. I've been enjoying the multiplayer, but mainly the terrorist hunt. I'm really enjoying that. I think that's probably where I'm going to thrive the most and play the most there. But I've definitely been playing that a lot. It's a game I didn't really enjoy that much with the beta. And still, even the online, I'm not very good at it yet. I still have no idea what the hell I'm doing. It's a very tactical game, very strategic game. It's something I need to kind of learn and get better at. But it's certainly something that I can see myself playing quite casually. Every now and then I'll put it on and I'll definitely enjoy it. Not a game that I can really see myself being, that's it. That's my new shooter. That's what I'm going to be playing all the time. No, but it's a game I can put on and enjoy. And obviously the new Black Ops map pack. I've been getting into Black Ops Zombies again. I've been playing some of the new maps as well. So I got the new one that just come out, the Eclipse map pack, and I played the zombie maps there. I think the zombie map's pretty good. I think it's very challenging. I couldn't really figure out how to get the power on. I kind of was planting seeds and making some kind of plant in a tree, and I got some kind of the power on sometimes, but I think I got to round 14 and I was swimming underwater and I got absolutely mauled by all these zombies on the water. And so it's very confusing. The maps on the new maps on this game are so big, so confusing. It's so hard to kind of really get into. I like the giant. I like just simple. All you need to do is kill the zombies. No rituals, no collecting things, no making stuff, no getting this, planting trees, feeding a dragon, none of that. Just kill zombies. Level up your guns, get the Pack-a-Punch, get the perks. I like the gobble gums, I like that, but I like it simple. So I think the Black Ops 3 map packs and all the zombie maps are too confusing for me. It's just not what I like. Not what made zombies fun for me originally. That's why I didn't really play too much of Black Ops 2 zombies either. I think it was just kind of a little bit too much for me. I like this Black Ops 1 map pack, so I like that. So that's what I kind of got into zombies with, and I guess that's probably what I'll always like about zombies. And I guess that's just me. But other than that, what else I've been playing? I think that's really just about it. I've obviously been playing quite a lot of those 3 games, but still obviously doing videos and things like that on the side and playing WWE. That's just a given. But that's basically what I've been playing this week. So we have a lot of questions to get into this week, actually. The last few weeks have been pretty nice in terms of questions. So we're going to head over to our questions now and get straight into them. So first one comes from Amir Khan. What is your favorite wrestling theme and your favorite wrestling entrance? Well, my favorite theme changes all the time. Right now, I absolutely love Nakamura's theme. I love that theme. It's absolutely beautiful. I listened to it. I just looped it over and I just kept on repeating it, just played it over and over and over for days when it first came out. I love that theme. So right now, that's my dead set, gun to my head favorite theme right now. My favorite wrestling entrance would probably be Triple H's entrance. I always liked, spitting the water out in the ropes, just the slow walk to the ring like a badass. And I don't know, I really liked that. It's either that or Undertaker's entrance. It's just a classic entrance, brilliant. It's slow, it's methodical, it's, eerie. I like those 2 entrances, but probably Triple H for mine. Next question comes from Thomas Speller. Is there anything the superstars on your shit list can do to get off of it? Well, get entertaining, get better. That's simply really about it. I mean, some guys are just doomed for life, like a Sheamus. Adam Rose might have a glimmer of hope. I think a better gimmick might be able to save him, but Sheamus, I've seen enough of him to pass my judgment and know that he's not getting out of that. Bad News Barrett, he's gone anyways. But Adam Rose, I think, could possibly get out of it. If Santino, if for whatever reason, comes back, he's got no chance. He's gone forever. He's shit-listed for life. But I think probably the one guy on my shit list right now, Adam Rose, has a small chance, if he even comes back. I mean, Adam Rose and Connor getting suspended, I think is going to lead to them getting ultimately released from the company. I think in the next couple of months, they need to seriously think about getting rid of some of these guys. They have so many guys on the roster right now. Surely something's got to give, and some guys have to go to make way. I think Adam Rose and the Ascension are probably a couple of those candidates at least. Alright, next question. It is coming from Thomas again. Which title belts in WWE do you think need to change? Well, the only one left I would think need to change is the tag title belts. I don't like the copper belts, the Spartan belts. I don't like those. I think they could definitely change those. I like the World Tag Title belt. I don't know why they ever changed that. I thought that was nice. I know they kind of unified those belts eventually, but I thought the World Tag Title belts from a few years ago look great. So something more like that is what they should do. Definitely don't do the current logo, like what they've got in the world title. I would hate for them just to change the tag titles and make it just like the world title, but tag titles. That'd be ridiculous. Amir Khan's got a couple more questions as well to finish up the Facebook questions. A few cricket questions for me. Who is your favourite cricketer? Batsman and bowler. My favourite batsman right now is Usman Khawaja from Australia. Probably Chris Gale as well. I love Chris Gale. Favourite bowler? Well, he's a bit of an all-rounder, but I love Andre Russell as well. He's great. But a big fan of Pat Cummins as well. I know he's been really injured a lot, but I've been keeping my eye on Pat Cummins for a while, so I'd love for him to kind of break out and get a bit of an injury-free couple of years and see what he can do. Favorite IPL team? I don't have one. I don't follow the IPL. Oakley Tiger. Will you have a pre-show for SummerSlam? Yes. I think I will definitely be doing a pre-show. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm undecided. Do I want to have a pre-show and upload it to YouTube as well? For me, what I'm planning on probably doing is just doing a pre-show for the Twitch stream, just playing a match that really has no major implications, and then probably referring to it later on in the show, just kind of linking back to it. But probably what I want to do is Daniel Bryan versus Alberto Del Rio. Have that on the pre-show, and people who come up to the stream can watch that before the main show starts, and maybe have it like a 15-20 minute match or something like that, and give us something to watch as people coming in, and be a little bit more exciting. I think that's something that I'm missing. You know, we have all these people coming into the show, but they've got nothing to listen to really watch. So a pre-show match there, just play a match and kind of do something there, I think would be pretty cool. I think people would like that. So that's something I might definitely do this time around. So I don't know if I would upload that later. That's the only thing I'm kind of worried about. Should I upload that to YouTube later on? I don't think it's really necessary. I think maybe just linking back to it later on in the main pay-per-view show might be enough. This one comes from Bruh Games. How do you see WWE fitting Randy Orton back into the current card? I think obviously Randy Orton probably coming back as a babyface, more than likely. Where could he really fit in? Maybe a feud with Bray Wyatt, I could see happening. Even feuding with Roman Reigns for the championship as well. But I see him coming back in that main event role, probably taking over a little bit from where Chris Jericho will be leaving off when he leaves. Obviously, Randy will be as the babyface, but he'll be that veteran guy who's feuding with some of the younger guys coming up to help get them over. I don't think he's going to be get jobbed out or anything like that. I think he'll certainly be winning a lot more than he loses in a role in and around the title belt, but I don't think he'll be winning the championship anytime soon. I just think he'll be feuding for the title and having some of those feuds in around it. Obviously, Randy Orton versus AJ Styles, I think, would be a killer feud as well. This one's from Road Boy. Do you think the Assassin's Creed series will ever be as good as it used to be? No, I don't think so, because look, they've played it out to death. It's been oversaturated. The last good Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, was probably Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So that's been a lot of games that haven't been great. I thought Black Flag was good. I wouldn't say great. I haven't played Unity yet, and I haven't played Syndicate yet. The rest I have played and all platinumed, and played a lot of hours into it. So I definitely have a big opinion. But I've heard Syndicate was pretty good, but I wouldn't say I didn't hear anything like, oh, it's the greatest Assassin's Creed ever, anything like that. But I don't think it could be great again. The last chance it has is now, obviously, they're not doing an Assassin's Creed game this year. So when they do a game, most likely next year, if it hits back and it's really, really good, then it could gain some momentum from there. But the problem with Assassin's Creed is the characters that they have in the game, I couldn't give a flying fuck about. Ezio in the first, that trilogy of Assassin's Creed, I loved. Ezio was a great character. He was one of my favorite characters in video games. He was fantastic. He was cocky, he was a little arrogant, but, I liked it. I thought he was great. I think he was a great main character. But the next few, Assassin's Creed 3, I couldn't tell you his name. Black Flag, I think it might have been Edward. Was that it? I don't care. I could not give a shit. So what they really need to do is they need to establish an entertaining and, pick a character, maybe make a few games on that one character. I like the Desmond storyline that they had going on there, but they killed that off. So they need to have a bit of a recurring character. Look at Uncharted. They got every Uncharted game is the same main character, but every time you play an Assassin's Creed game now, it's a new character, and you have to get yourself established with that character. So sometimes it's hit or miss. Some of these characters have not been good. So they need to kind of get a good character, really work on the character, the main character, and go from there. The next question comes from Demon Biggs. Do you think Rollins and Reigns feud is in store when Rollins comes back? 100% yes. If Rollins comes back as a heel, definitely. Even if he comes back as a babyface, I think he'll so. Rollins, when he comes back, is going to come straight after the championship. He's going to be straight into a feud for the world title. Now, when will he be coming back? Honestly, I really have no idea, but it will probably be in the next 3 or 4 months. So I definitely think he'll be coming after the title. If Reigns still has the championship, then Rollins will be feuding with him probably as soon as, ASAP. This one's from Callum Burgess. Will I be attending WWE Live this year? No, I won't be, because they're not coming to my city this year. They came here last year. I had a great time, really enjoyed it. Took my girlfriend along. She had a good time as well. I was looking forward to coming back there again this year, but unfortunately, they're not coming here. I think what they're doing is every 2 years they come to my city. So we miss out this year. Hopefully they come back next year, and I'll be going next year. Another one from Road Boy. Will I be watching Game of Thrones Season 6? I haven't watched Game of Thrones Season 1. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, and I just didn't really get into it. I haven't really given it a fair chance. It's something I want to watch down the line. I want to get into it. I'm not sure if it's a show for me, but everybody loves it, and I probably should give it a chance. So I've done that before. Everybody loved Breaking Bad. I gave it a chance. It's my favorite show of all time. Everyone loved The Walking Dead. It's probably my second favorite show of all time. Sopranos got a lot of great praise. Everybody loved that, and it's probably my third favorite show of all time. So maybe I should give Game of Thrones a chance, and it might become maybe my 4th favorite show of all time. I don't know, but I definitely should give it a chance. But no, I will not be watching Season 6. Not yet, anyways. Maybe in a few years' time. This one's from Anthony Smash. Do I think the Young Bucks could sign for the WWE to join the rest of the Bullet Club? No, I don't think so, because the Young Bucks and WWE aren't on great terms. The Young Bucks have clearly stated they have no interest in joining and looking just to stay around in the Indies. And quite honestly, I don't really care about them. I don't think the Bullet Club really needs them. This one's from Decent Stuff. Do I have face and heel alignments in my universe mode? Absolutely. If you have not noticed that, it'd be a little weird. I kind of fear for you a little bit, but obviously you look at someone like a Seth Rollins, definite heel. Dolph Ziggler's obviously a babyface. The Rock's obviously a heel. There's plenty of cases of it. I mean, sometimes it's kind of blurry a little bit, and it's kind of like you make up your own mind. I do that deliberately sometimes. You make up your own mind. Do you want to like this guy? Do you not want to like this guy? Because sometimes that's how wrestling should be. I think certainly in this current day and age, sometimes maybe you should make up your own mind. This guy's doing these actions. Well, how do you feel about what he's doing? Do you like that or do you hate that? And you make up your own mind. Another one from Road Boy. Do I think Skyrim will ever get remastered? Absolutely. I think they will probably remaster maybe not all of them, but a lot of the Elder Scrolls games. Probably Oblivion and Skyrim will more than likely get remastered in some kind of capacity. Whether it be a backwards compatibility, they might leave it at that for the Xbox One. But I expect them to do a full-on remaster. I'm surprised they haven't done it already, but I guess they're probably working on a new Elder Scrolls game. That might be their new focus right now, rather than a remaster. But I think a remaster of Skyrim is probably a goldmine waiting to happen. I think a lot of people would rebuy that game. I love Skyrim, by the way. It was a great game. What is my favorite movie franchise? Well, I'm going to say I love James Bond movies. And I say that because obviously, when I think of a franchise, I want to think of a movie franchise that's been around forever, had a lot of multiple movies. I don't want to think of like a movie where it's been like 2 of them, But James Bond, every time there's a new one coming out, I always watch it. I always love it. I think probably Quantum of Solace is pretty crappy. Casino Royale's kind of meh. But Spectre, the one Batista in, oh my god, that movie was phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. So, and Skyfall as well was really good too. So I probably would say James Bond because, obviously the movies have been around forever, and that's to me a legitimate movie franchise. Probably the first one that popped to my mind, so we'll just go with that. Couple of questions. This one, Road Boy, he's been sending me in some good questions this week, so props to him. Since Charlotte is already 29, how long do you think she'll stick around? Well, the use by date, I should say, for WWE for women quite often is around about that 33, 34 mark. But since she's relatively new to the business, coming into the business a little later on, I could see her probably hanging around until maybe 35, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you can still do it, and you still look good, you're still in shape, and you're 36, 37, 38, then why not? Keep going. Look at Gail Kim doing fine in TNA. She's, in her late 30s. Victoria went for ages. As Tara in TNA, and she was in her 40s. I mean, if you can still do it, and you're still good as anyone else, and you're still, in good shape, why not? I mean, why doesn't that not apply to women so much? I get it. They're aging, the WWE, they need bikini models. They need everyone looking, 10 out of 10. Every single woman in the roster needs to look perfect. But, look, I mean, I think in this new generation of divas, or women, I should say, I think now we might see women last a little longer. Their careers might span out a little longer. And somebody like Charlotte, who's obviously got Ric Flair there as well, that connection there, she might just last possibly to 35, 36. She might be one of the ones that probably hang around for a long time and maybe transition to a role backstage afterwards. This one's from Nabakos. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows came out and attacked the Usos on Raw. When do you think they'll officially debut, and do you think they'll just be a tag team at the start of their career and form a stable like Bullet Club later, or they'll immediately debut as a part of a stable? Well, as I said a little earlier on, my suggestion would be have them debut as a tag team, but on their tag team debut that third man and create the stable from there. Another one from Nabakos. What are your thoughts on Cesaro becoming the number one contender for the title? Does that mean Zack Ryder goes back to jobbing, or will Ryder get another shot? Zack Ryder, unfortunately for him, it was a one-shot deal. He's done. He is back to where he was. He'll get more TV time probably, and he'll get used a little bit more than what he probably was, but I don't think he's going to be back to winning titles anytime soon. I guess it was just a bit of a thank you, just a bit of a reason to give him the bell, give him that WrestleMania moment, and getting that feel-good, satisfactory moment, a bit of a shock value for WrestleMania, but I don't think it's going to lead to anything for poor old Zack. And finally, another one from Nabakos. Thoughts on Natalya being the number one contender for the Women's Championship instead of Becky or Sasha or even a debuting Bayley? I think it's good because we've had so much of Becky and Sasha already. Even any more would be too much. I think it's good to take a break from that and revisit that again later on. Bring in Natalya, bring in maybe Naomi, bring in Paige, bring in a few women to challenge for the championship and give it a bit of a break and let Becky and Sasha do a few other things, and then when the time is right, you bring them back into the championship fold and go from there again. Alright, so we have a few voicemails to close up the show, so let's get straight into them.
Are you going to buy Fallout Automatron?
I know there's a couple of Fallout DLCs right now, but the DLCs really don't add too much, and they're pretty overpriced. So I haven't played Fallout for a while. I really need to get back into it. I loved Fallout 4, but I just kind of stopped, and I haven't been able to get back into it. So at the moment, my answer to that would be no, but I think they need to do some big story DLCs like they did with Fallout New Vegas. I've been very disappointed with the DLC they have released so far. I'm hoping they release a lot more DLC, and this is not just, they're not releasing 5 DLC packs, and those are the two out of 5, because if that's the case, well, 2 out of 5 have been duds, so they need to really improve on that for me to want to buy.
Hey Brendan, do you think Shane McMahon and Triple H will have a match at SummerSlam for ownership of Raw?
It is possible, but it's all going to depend on the Shane McMahon storyline. Will they give him long-term ownership of the company, of Raw? And if he does get that, then I can definitely see something between the two happening, whether it be, I don't know if it'll lead to a match, but I could definitely see them having some kind of altercation. Maybe picking a wrestler each to represent them might be a better way to do it. That way you can also get a couple of young guys over in a better position. I think that might be a better way to go about it, rather than getting Shane and Triple H in there. What kind of purpose does that serve? Let's say Roman Reigns represents somebody, and maybe John Cena. I don't know. Pick 2 guys, Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, for example. Whoever. Maybe they can represent and get a little bit more exposure in a high-profile match for them, rather than Shane and Triple H.
Hi, Brennan. Since Del Rio has returned, do you think it's been a bit of a flop? Because he can't really talk that well, and he doesn't really fit into the League of Nations. And for some reason held the US Championship, not doing a great deal with it for months. If so, what do you think they could do to improve him? Thanks.
The problem with Del Rio is when he first arrived on the scene, he had the car, he had the ring announcer, he had the money, he had it all. He had the fancy suits, he looked $1 million. Now he's just a regular dude. And the League of Nations hasn't done him any favors. The best thing for him would be to split away from the group, go as a singles, but again, as a singles, he had all these different elements, and he's no longer going to have that. He's just plain old Del Rio, which I don't think is enough. So you would have to repackage him into something. What that would be, I'm not sure. Del Rio, obviously not a great talker, like you said, so avoid him on the microphone. Again, a mouthpiece, Zeb Coulter, that was a colossal failure. So maybe just let Del Rio be on his own, pick up some wins, and see how he goes from there, and kind of work on his character from there. But I just think him as a League of Nations character is just dreadful. I'm glad they're kind of slowly fizzling that away. It's not getting as much attention, and there's a lot of rumors that they are going to break that up. So in my opinion, him being a singles is the best thing for him. It's been a terrible booking for him since he returned.
Hey Brendan, who do you think Brock Lesnar will face next?
I guess all the signs would be pointing towards Bray Wyatt. They planted a lot of seeds there. The match didn't actually happen in the end, so I guess you would have to assume at SummerSlam probably Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt is probably going to happen, or at least on the cards to happen. Maybe it might be Braun Strowman, but it's very possible that Lesnar will be feuding with the Wyatt family some point this year. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Let's Talk Tuesdays podcast. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like on the YouTube video. It'd be great if we can hit, well, 1 like. As always, make sure you go check out the Twitter at Brendan Plays. Follow me to get up to date with everything to do with Brendan Plays. Leave a like on the Facebook page to go over it, and also leave a question for next week's episode. You can also leave a question via the YouTube comment section below, over at the forums at BrendanPlays.com, or as you just heard, a voicemail on the website at BrendanPlays.com. SummerSlam is going to be coming up very soon. Keep an eye out for that. Obviously, next Saturday is the current planned time for that, so put that in your calendars. It's coming very, very soon. I hope to see you all there. And thank you very much for listening in to this week's edition of the podcast. We'll be back again next Tuesday for more Let's Talk Tuesdays. Thanks, guys, for listening in, and I'll see you all next week.